Today I'll be reacting to your wrestling hot takes. Every week after Monday Night Raw, I ask you over on X at Conman167, what did you think of the show? And to submit all of your hot takes, your opinions, your thoughts, or whatever else you have. And after last week, everybody wanted to talk about Raw going from 3 hours to 2 hours. This was another episode of 2 hours of Monday Night Raw, and I'll be honest, it was far better. Now, it's strange to say it was a lot better because this was literally a pre-taped episode of Monday Night Raw, so there was nothing they could have changed from last week when they filmed it to this week, but for some reason the show just flowed so much better. Maybe it's because they were able to edit it in a different way, but regardless, this episode of Raw was far better received amongst the community. So with that being said, before we get into this thing, make sure you leave a like on this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn those notifications on, and let's not waste any more time, let's check out your hot takes. Thought this pre-recorded Raw was better than last week's. And you're not alone. Yes, this week's episode of Raw was pre-recorded, but the crazy part is that they actually recorded it 1 week ago when Raw flipped over from 3 hours to 2 hours and everybody lost their minds. This was because last week's show's pacing was so far off, we couldn't really figure out what was going on in the show, slightly confusing at times, and just very crammed and rushed. This week didn't feel like that. The pacing from Raw was on point, they didn't try to cram 3 hours worth of content into 2 hours, and even the commercial breaks felt a lot better. Although they weren't great, there was still a lot of commercial breaks. There was also a lot of attention on the divisions that deserve more attention, like the women's division, like the tag team division. The fact that the women were main eventing the show and they also opened the show was great because we're building to a top tier match between Liv Morgan and Nia Jax, champion versus champion. Why wouldn't that be all over your card? The tag team division is getting a lot of attention now with the tag team tournament to determine the #1 contenders for the tag team titles. I just said tag team a lot right there. It just felt so much better to watch this week, and I don't know if this is because Triple H and co decided to take a look at Twitter and saw the negative response, but it certainly was a different feeling episode of Monday Night Raw than 1 week ago. It could also just be they learned from their mistakes. They watched that week's episode and they said, yeah, we tried to put way too much in there. Let's cut a couple segments, let's do a couple promo vignettes and go on from there. Now, the jury is still out if 2-hour episodes of Monday Night Raw will work every single week. I am still nervous that people will be cut from the card, but hey, if it's something like this, if this is the pacing of the show, I'm more than fine with it. Less is more, and Monday Night Raw found that out this week. I got a feeling Brock Lesnar is returning at Crown Jewel to confront Gunther. Brock Lesnar was mentioned on Monday Night Raw not once, but twice. Seth Rollins mentioned that he was a beast slayer, and Cody Rhodes mentioned that he slayed the beast. Now, obviously, there's a lot of controversy when it comes to Brock Lesnar, and people are still not sure if he is going to return to WWE. But here's the thing, this is the first time it sounds like we've heard any Brock Lesnar references on Monday Night Raw since he's been gone. They seemingly erased him from WWE history for the last little bit, but with the references of the Beast, it makes you wonder, is Brock Lesnar coming back? If Brock Lesnar is returning, there's a lot of dream matches that he could have. Like right off the top of my head, him versus Gunther would be a money match. He could also help build the next generation of stars as we have beasts like Braun Breaker and Obafemi in the wings, and you could also imagine how good a match between him and Ilya Dragunov could be when Ilya Dragunov comes back. Now, if Brock Lesnar does come back, expect there to be lots of controversy with it. Expect Twitter to be running with it, and there's going to be a lot of people talking about if he should be back or if he shouldn't be back. I'm not here to give my opinion on it, but I do want to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Would you like to see Brock Lesnar return to WWE? There's no question there's a lot of money to be made, and there's a lot of great memorable matches that could come out of it. But hey, you know, some people got some very strong feelings about this, and rightfully so. If he does return at Crown Jewel, though, the ending needs to be Brock Lesnar and Gunther staring each other down. That could be a mega money match going into Survivor Series, or maybe even the Royal Rumble. I mean, let's be real, who wouldn't actually want to watch Gunther and Brock Lesnar lock up in a wrestling ring? That's a big fight feel. See that new Dom confidence coming to save his girl? We all know what's next. Dominic as the Intercontinental Champion does need to happen, but it shouldn't be before 2025. With everything Jey Uso has going on with the bloodline, it makes a lot of sense that maybe somebody from the bloodline, like a Tonga Loa, a Tama Tonga, a Solo Sikoa, or a Jacob Fatu, could cost Jey Uso his Intercontinental title against Braun Breaker next week. As much as we want to see the Yeet Man continue to run as the IC champion, and I would actually hate it seeing him lose the title in that way, it would open up the door for him to return to the bloodline story. This would then allow Braun Breaker to continue his impressive run as of late, but he would need challengers for that IC title, and there was a moment there where we thought Braun Breaker was turning face. That could still be in the works. Now, if Braun Breaker does turn into a babyface, the natural heel for him would be Dominic Mysterio. Can you imagine Braun Breaker going up against the entire Judgment Day and somehow Dominic Mysterio weasels his way out of the match with the IC Championship? Oh, great booking right there. Dominic as the IC Champion and Liv Morgan as the World Champion would make for some great TV, and especially if the Judgment Day does hold on to the tag team titles a little bit longer, we could see the Judgment Day just draped in gold again. With the right build, this could elevate Braun Breaker to going to the main event scene and going after Gunther's World Heavyweight title, maybe at the Royal Rumble, and this would allow Dominic Mysterio to lock down the mid-card and put on great matches against people like Dragon Lee and others. Hell, it would be awesome if Dominic Mysterio and Rey Mysterio fought one more time, this time over the IC Championship, and Dominic beats Rey without any help at all. And Dominic Mysterio does get great reactions every single week, so at some point you have to wonder if WWE is going to pull the trigger on him as a singles champion. It worked briefly when he was the North American champion, but this is a main roster title that he needs to win. And when you draw the reactions that he does, that screams a main event talent in the making. Like, I don't think anybody would be surprised to see Dominic Mysterio in the main event scene in the next few years. He's incredibly talented in that ring, and he gets better and better every time he's out there. Especially if they keep him as this slimy heel character that he is. Just find ways to keep turning him heel when he's heel, and you've got the heelest character of the century. I'm just picturing right now what the reaction would be for Dominic Mysterio winning the World Heavyweight title, and oh my god, I want to see that day happen. But the goal of 2025 needs to be get the IC title on Dominic Mysterio, and let's see what he can do with it. I really want to see Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee as champions. Now, with the number one contenders tag team tournament announced, we have seen some matches already that are going to take place next week. We have Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus American Made, and then we have the New Day versus the Authors of Pain. But what this tag team title tournament is going to do is it's going to allow all these wrestlers to get more opportunity on the show. A tag team of Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio is a no-brainer, and I'm surprised it took this long to start pushing them as an actual tag team, but I'm so here for it. And it could actually be the natural direction for the Judgment Day versus LWO storyline that has been briefly touched on. Of course, Rey is obviously the dad of Dominic Mysterio, and Finn Balor and JD McDonough are buddies with Dominic, so that helps rights itself. But Dragon Lee also has a lot of issues within the Judgment Day. You can't forget about his issues with Carlito. And you just know the match would slap with JD McDonough, Finn Balor, Rey Mysterio, and Dragon Lee in the same ring. It would be a great pay-per-view match. Although knowing Triple H, he's probably going to book it the week before the pay-per-view on Monday Night Raw as the main event or something like that. But there really is a lot of great options in this tag team title tournament. You've got the returning War Raiders. Of course, you have the New Day. Authors of Pain could even be in contention for it. Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio and American Made. All the teams in this tournament right now have an opportunity to win. But if I was a betting man, my money too would be on Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee. Gunther's heel work has been excellent lately. We all know how good he is in the ring, but his character work and crowd engagement makes us wait in anticipation for his clever roasts. Ring General is surprisingly the mic general as well. Gunther is arguably the greatest heel in WWE right now. But the crazy part is it's not like Gunther is out here doing the most dastardly things every single week. He's just a menace on the microphone. You know that once you step inside the ring with Gunther, you are in for a fight, but the way he has elevated his game on the microphone is so damn good. Gunther just has a way of reeling you in, making you think that you are okay, making you think that he respects you and all of that. And then once you take the bait, he sets the hook and he's like, ah ha ha, I got you. Nobody right now can touch what Gunther is doing on the microphone and certainly in the ring. He is one of the best characters WWE has on their roster, and the fact that he's the World Heavyweight Champion right now tells me that he is going to have a very, very long run as the World Heavyweight Champion. With the mid-card titles changing around as often as they have lately, this could be the stability WWE is looking for. I know they have Cody Rhodes as the undisputed champion, but even that is in question if Kevin Owens is going to take the title from him. But Gunther is the constant of WWE right now, and there's no question that he should be the man who who wins the Crown Jewel matchup against Cody Rhodes. He needs to hold on to the Crown Jewel title. He needs to parade around with it, and he needs to show everybody he is the best this business has to offer. The War Raiders should win the tournament and go on to beat the Judgment Day. Yes, the Viking Raiders are back, and they are going back to their old name, the War Raiders, and I couldn't be more happy. They brought back their old theme song as well. It's so great to see the War Raiders back. And they returned in a massive way with defeating the Alpha Academy and advancing in the tag team title tournament. Now, the idea of the War Raiders versus the Judgment Day is a very intriguing finals match, and it's definitely one of those ones I would like to see if it happened. We also have to remind ourselves how good Ivar was when Eric was away injured, and Ivar kind of deserves some love and some praise for his work that he did. Getting an opportunity as the tag team champions could be a way of tipping their cap to him. And the idea of Finn Balor and JD McDonough versus Ivar and Eric is going to make for a great matchup. So regardless of when this happens, I'm here for it. And if it happens for the tag team titles, if it happens because the War Raiders win this tag team tournament, then why not? I'm here for it. There's still a lot of other tag teams that could make sense to face the Judgment Day, Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee being the front runners. But in the end, if the Viking Raiders get the opportunity for the tag team titles, they're going to put on a banger of a match. And if they do get that opportunity, why not put the tag titles on them? They really do deserve a good run. For the first time on the main roster, they're not Vikings. They're actually the gimmick that got them to the dance. It's the gimmick that got them over on the independent scene. So, like, let's just give them all the gold in the world, all right? Let's see what these guys can do as the War Raiders. The crowd's going to be chanting, "War, war, war," before we know it. I have a feeling that the Bloodline will cost Jay the IC title in some manner. That's how he gets back involved with the OG Bloodline for War Games. Jay Uso losing the IC title to Braun Breaker because of the Temu Bloodline is best for business. Now let me put on my Yeet glasses so everybody knows I am still a Jay Uso fan. But we all know what the fans want to see. The fans do want to see Jay Uso reunite with the Bloodline. We want to see him back with Roman Reigns. We want to see him back with Jimmy Uso. We want to see him back with Paul Heyman, and we want that group hug to actually take place on our screens. It will suck for Jay Uso to lose the IC title almost as quick as he won it, but this is a bigger story going on. The Bloodline versus the Bloodline 2.0. It needs to be told, and we need Jay Uso to be a part of it. Definitely don't take away his identity. Make sure the dude continues to yeet all over the place. Make sure he continues to have fun. But at the end of the day, Jay Uso can get back the gold. He can get back the IC title. Hell, it might even elevate him to the World Championship picture. Because remember, he is main event Jay Uso, and the main event doesn't generally take place in the middle of the show. And if we're talking about potential money matches for Jay Uso, him versus Gunther could be a real big money match. And also the idea of Jay Uso winning that World Heavyweight Championship, oh, I want to see it. But in order for all of that to happen, he does unfortunately have to lose the IC Championship, and if it's gonna happen, I want there to be a reason, a storyline reason why he loses it, and it needs to be some outside interference. So Bloodline from Temu, come on in and do your work. Tiffany Stratton should cash in at Clash of the Castle, turn the match into a triple threat, and take the title from Nia in the match. The idea of Tiffany Stratton cashing in on Nia Jax is certainly a great idea, and I think we will see it happen at some point. But in order for Tiffany Stratton to cash in during this match and turn it into a triple threat for the championship doesn't necessarily work because Nia Jax's title is not on the line, neither is Liv Morgan's. They are fighting for the Crown Jewel Championship, and so if you cash in this match, it's not like Liv Morgan has an opportunity to win Nia Jax's championship, and Tiffany Stratton certainly isn't cashing in on this Crown Jewel title. So in order for Tiffany Stratton to cash in on Nia Jax at Crown Jewel, it needs to happen after her match with Liv Morgan. But if I was the person who was booking this, I would keep Tiffany Stratton far away from cashing in, like a good couple of months more before she cashes in. Nia Jax is on the run of a lifetime, and the idea that Tiffany Stratton is being held down under her thumb is only going to create more and more resentment for Tiffany the longer this happens. And the more resentment that she has, the more the fans are going to get behind her and eventually turn her into one of the biggest babyface stars the women's division has ever seen. If you pull the trigger at Crown Jewel, if you put the title on Tiffany Stratton right now, I still think there's a lot of fans who are not quite behind Tiffany yet. This could lead to some mid reactions for her, maybe some people saying she doesn't deserve it, maybe some other people saying that let's take the title off her, let's put it on Naomi or whatever. But right now, the goal needs to be to build up Tiffany Stratton to the point that the fans are going to pop big time when she eventually cashes in that Money in the Bank contract. Think of some of the greatest Money in the Bank cash-ins you have ever seen. They're usually accompanied by one of the largest pops the WWE has ever heard, and Tiffany Stratton could very well get one of those loud pops. Build her up, build her up, build her up, and then eventually have her cash in on Nia Jax. Have Nia Jax continue to be this bully towards her, but right now at Crown Jewel, it's not the time for Tiffany to cash in. The Motor City Machine Guns should have been on Raw instead of SmackDown. They could have easily won the tag titles on Raw because the Bloodline isn't losing them anytime soon. Raw needs them. After what we just saw from Monday Night Raw announcing the tag team title tournament, I don't think the Motor City Machine Guns would benefit from being on the red brand. SmackDown right now is very thin when it comes to the tag team division, and we just saw a triple threat ladder match between the Bloodline, DIY, and the Street Profits. And now DIY and the Street Profits are done. They got to go to the back of line, and they have to earn their way back towards the tag team titles. Outside of them, there is very few tag teams who are actually available to challenge the Bloodline. So the Motor City Machine Guns going to Friday Night SmackDown makes a lot of sense. And seriously, at this point in their career, yeah, it would be great to see them win the tag team titles, and they probably will at some point, but also they're there to elevate all the others on the brand. If the fans are going to be behind the Motor City Machine Guns, they are the perfect foil for the Bloodline. The Bloodline is being built up as this very dangerous group, and so you need baby faces that the fans can get behind to go and challenge them to make those matches exciting, because otherwise you have fans sitting there saying there is 0% chance that this tag team is going to win, the Bloodline's going to retain, and nothing's going to change. WWE sucks. But that's just booking 101. You've built up this heel tag team, you need baby faces to step to them, and I think the Motor City Machine Guns are very well suited to be challengers to the Bloodline. Their matches should be pretty damn entertaining at the least. Lash and Jakara should get called up. They're not doing anything in NXT but being background characters to Ora Mensa. They're definitely ready and can help with the tag division. They're very unique as well. No women's tag team is like them in terms of characters. Yeah, Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson are great. What I love the most about them being featured on Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown is that it is WWE confirming they are trying to build the women's tag team division. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill are the stars needed to elevate everybody in this division. But now that the Unholy Union feud is over, it's opening up this opportunity for new teams to step up, and Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend are one of those tag teams that absolutely deserves this opportunity and is crushing it every time that they're on screen. Lash Legend especially is one of those characters that at first I didn't expect much from, but over time she has developed into one of WWE's top prospects. Jakara Jackson's also come a long way in the ring, and I think she's got a very bright future as well. But together they are money, and I think WWE sees that as well. They're teasing this feud a little more. They're going to probably get a match with Damage Control in the future, and then eventually I see Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson being the team to dethrone Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. This is how you make stars in the WWE. You don't get there without taking risk, and the idea that Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson could be the team to pin Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill is money. So many people are behind them, and so many people want to see success for them, especially after what Kevin Owens did on Friday Night SmackDown, interrupting their debut entrance. This was done on purpose. It was done for a reason, and everybody had the reaction that they should have. People got behind this tag team. People said that that wasn't fair, that they want to see more from them, that they deserve better. Yeah, Triple H, good booking, dude. Because here they are now on Monday Night Raw being involved in the top feud in the women's tag team division, getting involved with Damage Control, getting involved with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. This is a great start to their career, and I expect big things for both of them. I still miss the 3-hour shows. I'm worried that a lot of stars won't get the chance to return on screen. We're certainly not out of the weeds yet, and we're not certain if Monday Night Raw is going to work as a 2-hour show, because this was pre-taped, right? This was something that WWE could edit a couple things. We'll see next week how Raw feels as a 2-hour episode. Obviously, live TV is very different than pre-taped, and so there's a lot of things that could happen next week. They could cut back on a couple segments. Maybe they make the show flow even better, and I imagine they're working to make Monday Night Raw the best viewing experience for everybody. But there is obviously that concern that there's not enough enough TV time for everyone on the roster. It was great to see the women's division get the attention that they deserve, but you have to remember it was a pre-taped show, and WWE decided to utilize the women's division in a much larger way compared to how they normally use it on the show. And so those concerns about will they still be featured the way that they were, will they get the main event matchups with only 2 hours on the show, or will they try to cram in 3 hours worth of content with a live episode again? Who knows? Next week's Raw will be the big telling point if 2 hours is going to work, and I imagine they will figure it out. But your concerns are valid, honestly. But those were your hot takes. Be sure to let me know any others that you have down in the comments below, and if you'd like to submit your hot takes in future weeks, make sure you follow me over on X at conman167, and then while you're down there, you might as well leave a like on this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn those notifications on, and keep coming back every single day because we upload wrestling content every single day. Thanks for watching. Have a great one.